Hello, this is Douglas Maddy from Altered Perceptions. Usually I would have a guest on here to review a performance with me, and we did actually do a reaction video to Alana already, and we had Cody here. Jason Parker is another one of the YouTubers that does reaction videos to Penn and Teller Fool Us as well. And when he did a reaction video to Alana, she has now done Alana reacting to Jason Parker reacting to Alana on Penn and Teller's Fool Us. So we are going to make our reaction to Alana reacting to Jason Parker's reacting to Alana on Penn and Teller's Fool Us. Let's get into this. Everyone's going to be reacting to everyone.
Worst intro ever! Anyway, in this video I'm reacting to Alana, a magician from Germany. I also haven't heard of her before and don't know what to expect, but apparently she's doing some kind of like stage fashion model magic. Sounds interesting, so let's go ahead and just jump into the reaction.
Alright. I grew up with a family of magicians. My dad and my mom worked together. I was my dad's little assistant, starting when I was 5 years old, bringing props on stage, bringing tables on stage, and just getting used to being in front of an audience. Since I was a little girl, I loved to read fashion magazines. Fashion for me was always life. Fashion just expresses your personality. And then I thought I could use fashion to do some magic. There aren't any books about how to do fashion magic, so I had to invent all by myself. I cannot show you a single card trick, but I can show you 1,000 things with fashion. It's something quite new in the world of magic because not that many magicians do it. Penn, Teller, you've seen magicians with amazing hands, but not like this.
Looks interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alana.
Just for you to know, this is not my music I'm using usually. I perform to my own music, but in the post-production they put another music. This is quite okay. I prefer my own, but it's okay.
This is a big thing. When we did a reaction video to Shin Lim, we had a lot of people commenting that it wasn't the original music that Shin Lim uses, because when Penn and Teller's fooled in different countries, they put different music on, and depending on who owns the copyright and whatnot, the music that accompanies a magic act is very important. And although this isn't her music, when Cody was here, you just see her like gently bobbing up and down to it. So although it's not your music, Alana, it's still very catchy music, and it did match the act, I think.
Nice.
His face.
Ah, what the heck?
I'm gonna stop it here because there's an interesting thing that you don't see on the video, and I'm glad you don't see it here because my mouth became so dry that my lip started to stick on my teeth and gum, you know, I felt looking like that. Horrible. But okay, let's continue. Just a little side info.
I know this sounds a bit weird, but I do like the spirit of Alana's act. There's a kind of like the first time I watched this, and again, we don't review every single Penn and Teller magic act, but I happened to just see a glimpse of this as I was going through, you know, YouTube recommends like certain videos, and it showed me just like a couple of seconds of Alana doing her hands routine. and I thought, oh, I don't want to watch anymore. I want to get a genuine reaction out of it. And I found it really intriguing the first time I watched it, and it is entertaining, and it kind of reminds me, I forget the guy's name, I'm going to have to find out. So Alana's act with all the hands and stuff reminded me very much of Rudy Kobe. Is that right? Thank you. Who had the 4 legs. And I do like that because it's not magic in the traditional sense of sort of like, but it's a very kind of bizarre, got a freaky magic kind of feel to it, and so it's one of those things, whether you know how the secret's done or not, it's still just fascinating to watch because it's a very visually entertaining piece of theatre. And the more I watch her act, the more I want to watch more of her act because it's just really entertaining. And again, I really like the spirit of her performance as well because it's sort of like, it's got a very fun vibe to it.
I'm gonna stop it here again because I just saw Penn and Teller's face. There's a big audience, but in front of the audience there is Penn and Teller, and they're not really close, but they're the closest to you. It's funny to see them also reacting to my act, but for the camera as well. So they know they're being filmed all the time, and they're just being very, very fun and very nice. That was just a very cool thing to see. Okay, let's continue.
And I really like her nail varnish. She doesn't have it in the performance.
This is really cool. But with these hands, and I'm just noticing with the camera cuts that, like, my first curiosity is how, because she starts off with both of her hands like real hands, and then she's switching them. So obviously she has to have like a fake hand somewhere because most humans don't have 3 hands, right? But I didn't see the moment when she switched between the real hand and the fake hand with her sleeves. And then I'm feeling like, I'm trying to watch closely, but it's all happening quickly, and I kind of feel like they're using these camera edits, these cuts to the audience reaction, and then when you come back, she's already set for the next part. So that's kind of a shame because I think we watching like to be able to try to spot when something fishy is happening, you know? And I think it would be a lot more cool to see her perform live because now I'm really curious, you know, like how does she manage to like turn and hide this switching of her arms? To me, that's the really interesting part, and we can't really see it here. And obviously she has to have a method of doing it because she's performing in front of a live audience. Anyways, very interesting, very creative act. Let's keep going.
Okay, Jason, you're absolutely right. Of course, usually I'm performing for a live audience. The act is built for a live audience. And yes, I also think it would have been much more interesting to see some of the techniques I'm using for the switches, because I've been working my ass off for that for the past years to perfect it and to make it look really good. So there's even no need to put in like a lot of audience reactions in those moments, because if I perform live, of course, also I do have to hide the fishy moments. By the way, if you want to see my full act, because this is only a part of my full act, just go on the link down below and you can see different TV shows. The same act, the same costume, just another edit. So it's really interesting to see that and what a big difference the post-production makes. Come on now, it's on now. This player's here to stay now. Don't make you understand. Don't you know your history?
Uh-oh.
The leg always runs.
Oh, 4 hands. She has way more hands than I expected.
Tell her.
Oh my gosh, 5 hands.
Yep.
And they're just the ones you can see.
Where did they all go? Okay, so like there, you know, she turns her back on the audience, and then it cuts to the audience reaction, and then it cuts back and she lifts her head up. So again, we didn't get to see the preparation there, but I would say the saving grace.
I like Alana's pose. You notice how she's doing that, and you watch every Art Perception video, my hand literally stays like that because we're magicians and that's the secret handshake. Give her a hand.
Thanks, Jason, for appreciating the techniques, because, you know, a lot of people, I've seen some comments and a lot of people just go like, she's using fake hands. Ooh.
I think they're fake hands.
Oh, now all the hands have
Of
disappeared.
course we're going to be thinking out about the extra hands.
The thing is, like, this is not the full version of the act, like I said before, and later on there's some earring manipulations, and also in other acts I'm doing a lot of things with fashion, you know, as you've seen in the intro movie, the strap coming up, the hair going up. This is really my thing. Just in this version, this TV version, they only focus on the hands. That was all what they were interested in. So they edited everything else away, you know. So this interview was actually 7 minutes long, and I was a little bit surprised that they left this question in, which focuses so much on the fashion factor. But okay, let's continue.
And again, that's something else we've discussed on this channel with our guests and stuff, and talking magic and how much of the integrity of the performance of the artist is actually left, you know, and what's left on the cutting room floor and edited away, and what's actually used in the final performance. The music's been changed, the act's been edited down, there's cuts away when, like she said, she worked on it so that there wouldn't need to be cuts, it would be, you know, ready for a live audience. So again, this is where the filter of the TV show and the way that the show's constructed as a whole, it portrays the artist, and that's a really big consideration if you're going to decide to go on TV. For example, you've got to be aware of the camera angles, you've got to be aware that you're not fully in control of the you know, your artistic performance because of, you know, copyright and various other things and who owns what. And you know, it can always be edited down, so your original act is crafted to suit the TV show, so it doesn't always necessarily come out as the end product as what you originally intended.
Okay, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts before we hear from Penn and Teller. It's funny, when she was being interviewed there and she said how she combined her two passions, magic and fashion. Passion for fashion. Anyways, it made me think, well, if I were to combine two passions, what would it be?
That's one of the things that I've said several times on this YouTube channel, is if you can get two things and merge them together, that's when you've got creativity. And so if you can take magic and take it with something else that you enjoy doing and mix the two together, then you've got a unique way of interpreting the magic that you're doing.
I guess you could say video making and magic, and I'm doing that right now. But maybe I was thinking of something else, like not, you know, related to this channel. If I were to do like weightlifting and magic, somehow combine that. But I don't know how that would work because, well, anyway, that's a topic for another day. I don't want to get distracted here. So Alana, that was an amazing performance. If you were watching this video somehow, awesome job, very creative, I enjoyed it. And for those of you viewing this video at home, what did you think? What was your opinion? Leave a comment below. I think the main takeaway from this performance is not necessarily to be fooled, it's definitely more about entertainment and art. And I've got to say, it's something that I've never seen before, so that's really cool as well. Them's are my thoughts. Let's hear from Penn and Teller. Get my torso in position, okay. 3, 2, 1.
Boys?
Alana, we've seen a lot more than just your act here. We really feel like this is a major change in magic. You know, we have ranted and raved about how the boys club has never let women in, and magicians are stuck.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a note of that, because this gets brought up a lot. The boys club hasn't let women in, and that may be true as a matter of fact for some clubs, that they haven't let people in, but magicians as a whole don't usually let anybody in. Like, one of the great things about the internet and YouTube is that you can go on here and you can learn how magic secret. You can first of all watch a variety of different magic acts, like on Penn and Teller Flawless. Like, in order to watch these kind of acts years ago wouldn't be possible, because there was, like, over here in the UK we had 4 TV channels, BBC One, BBC Two, ITV and Channel 4. Obviously elsewhere, if you're in America or anywhere else, then you're going to have a different variety of channels, but there was you had to be a broadcaster, and getting on TV was a big thing. Whereas nowadays with the internet, people can film their acts, upload it online. You know, people have kind of seen everything and they're always scouting for new talent, like you've got America's Got Talent and the X Factor and all that kind of stuff. This show is for magicians essentially, although the idea is to fool Penn and Teller because it needs some sort of a narrative. The whole idea is to showcase magic as a whole and a variety of all the rich different performers from around the world. So it's not that so much that magicians have not allowed women to become magicians. They were always very particular about who they would tell secrets to and who they would let in their club anyway. That they were just very pedantic about who they would let in anyway. They've just always been that way, because in order to guard the secrets. When people say, well, you know, they often say that there should be more women in magic, for example. That's something that's kind of thrown around a lot. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that there's a huge amount of women that want to go out and the first thing that they think of as a little girl is, I want to be a magician, you know. And with this Alana here, like, she grew up in a family that already did magic. So it was kind of like a family business. It was like a legacy. So it was a natural progression for her to want to incorporate that. So it's due to her upbringing and because of the environment that she was in. But ordinarily, the girls don't, you know, I mean, you don't hear it, do you? Like, girls don't go around thinking, I want to really be a world famous juggler. You know, they usually want to be a fashion model or be a movie star or have some other kind of dream, you know. So I don't think it's so much that magic has pushed women out per se. I think it's just pushed everybody out because it's very protective of its secrets. And that's a generational thing. And I think that as magic goes forward into the future, and if women want to, there's nothing at all to stop them from going out and learning how to do magic. And Alana's a great example here, that sort of like it's a really refreshing act to be able to see, because she's doing the type of stuff that you wouldn't see a male magician do.
Using the techniques of people that wore tuxedos.
I'm gonna stop here because that's interesting what Penn said. Yes, I always create my own techniques, and they are not based on, you know, jackets and tuxedos, because I'm wearing dresses or I'm wearing female outfits. So this for me is really the most interesting part about magic. I feel like a pioneer sometimes. There is so much still to discover that hasn't been discovered yet. Techniques, gimmicks, however you want to call it. And I really appreciate that Penn and Teller saw that and understood my love for that.
Yeah, I have this as well, because magicians have like loads and things that they hide on their body, and even the famous expression, oh, it's hidden up your sleeve kind of a thing. So it's always been, excuse the pun, tailored to what the magician's wearing and the extent to what they'll be able to perform, because there's usually some contraption on the body that's helping assist in the magic act. Well, when you're going out in a dress and you haven't got sleeves on, and you know, you've got other jewelry and other things that you're wearing, and I mentioned nail varnish earlier, there's all sorts of things. This is what I'm saying, where when women get involved, magic relies on secrets, and some of those secrets rely a lot on what the performer is wearing. So when you change the sex of the performer, you look at women's fashion and stuff, it does open up a whole new load of potential possibilities for new effects that haven't been discovered, because there haven't been as many women doing magic as there have been men.
All of that had this stuff built in, and I've never seen an act like this before. Neither of us have, where you've taken clothes that look contemporary and beautiful and natural and used all these wonderful manipulative techniques. It's just incredible. I mean, I would like to think that this act will spawn hundreds of women ripping you off. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. The stuff you've built into this, just beautiful. And as we went by in real time, there were every move we couldn't figure out. And then we had to go back and think a little bit. We didn't know at the moment, then we had to think back and do the work.
Well, I just can say that Penn and Teller watched the full act, so they have the you know, the overall view of what I did there. After the performance, Teller came up to me just backstage, maybe 2 minutes after, and he asked me a lot of questions about my act. He was genuinely interested in it, which I really appreciate, because he's just a genius, and getting some, you know, some compliments, some nice words from him really means the world to me. I'm just blown away by their comment, you know.
We so want to say you fooled us, but I don't think you did. But I do believe that right now on this stage, you changed magic for the future.
Thank you. That's very important for me.
Yeah, I think he's actually right. And this is probably that it's not the act itself, it's what's around the act. I mean, even making this video is a very bizarre thing to do, like to react to someone reacting to a reaction. But this is something, this act is worth talking about, and it's not to do with the hands. That's the kind of gimmicky thing that has been thrown out there because of its commercial aspect. It's everything that's behind Alana as a performer, and what she's brought to this particular act. And I do actually agree with this, actually.
Yeah, and actually that was really the most important thing for me, that they said that I might have changed something in magic, because when I started there were really like so few women in magic, so I was very proud of that comment. I was sure I wouldn't fool them. I mean, a lot of magicians create their own acts or create new acts just to fool them. I didn't do that. I took a theater act and brought it to TV, which is always difficult. Actually, later on, I'm going to create a little video of what to think about if you do your own magic, your own act for TV. And you can learn from my experiences, from my mistakes, from, you know, if you want to watch that, it's going to be on my YouTube page.
The thing I like about Alana is that it's her personality, it's her character. Like ordinarily when I've seen female performers, and this is no disrespect to female performers, they tend to mimic a man doing magic as opposed to just being themselves as a magician or a magician. So the thing that's great about Alana is that she's very unfiltered, she's very delightful, she's very original, she's very unique, and she's very much herself. And that's what comes through, and that's kind of what's captivating and entertaining, because she's not and other magicians do this as well with other male magicians. Everybody kind of learns through osmosis and mimicry, whereas she's come up with something truly unique here. And I actually genuinely would like to see a full evenings act, because from the sneak peeks that we got, where she's kind of like dabbing her face and all that kind of stuff, you'd ordinarily do that with a pen and a coin, but she's done it with like foundation. It's just a really nice a fresh way of looking at magic. She's bringing a very fresh perspective.
That's amazing. So do you agree that you didn't fool them?
Yeah, I was sure. I'm just very, very proud to be here presenting this to you, my heart, my passion, and I hope it can inspire a lot of girls to do it.
Yeah,
And-
it's
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alana.
Alrighty, well, I'll go ahead and give you my closing thoughts. Yeah, I pretty much already said it. That was a splendid performance, very creative, very original. And like Tyler said, maybe that will help motivate a lot more women to become involved in magic, which would be a great thing. Again, as I kind of alluded to earlier, I really wish that I could watch her perform live without these camera cuts, so I can just, you know, not be questioning like, did I not catch it because I just didn't see it? Or did I not catch it because of a camera showing the audience's face? The audience faces. The faces of the audience. So yeah, that was really cool with all the hands all over the places and how it ended up being up to 5 hands at the end. I guess she's doing a lot of contortion and stuff to get to all these positions quickly. And actually, now that I think about it, I have no idea where she hid the extra head that she ripped off of her torso. You know, because where would that be hid on her jacket or anything? She was moving all around. Anyway, great performance. Go ahead and leave your comments below about what you thought about her act. And
Okay, Jason, thank you so much for reviewing my act, for appreciating it, for appreciating the creativity, the originality, the techniques from a magician's point of view. Even though you haven't seen them because of the edit, I agree with you. But like I said, there's a video down below, you can watch it. So thank you very much for your comment and see you. Bye-bye.
There's something very unique about what Alana's done here. It's a very special act, and it's really stuck out because of the originality. And you could say, people can say, well, it's because she's a girl, it's because she's got hands, and all the things that people are talking about. But I actually genuinely think it's because it's a unique act. And one of the things that makes it unique is the thing that Penn was saying, was the fact of the clothes, because she's incorporated that so much into how the magic effect is created. that then changes everything else, because a lot of magicians rely on clothing to or something on their body in order to achieve a magic effect for a lot of the times, even if it's just taking a packet of cards out from a pocket. Well, if you don't have a pocket, where are you going to bring a pack of cards out from? It just changes everything. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been something a little bit different, a little bit quirky, but that's what it's about. It's not about doing the same old thing over and over again. This is a little bit of fun, and hopefully it will bring the community and the conversation all together. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll be notified of our latest videos.